We were talking about the Jackson State mascot being flagged for an unsportsmanlike celebrating. You covered the SWAC for, I think, 3 years for the Clarion Ledger. That surprised you?
No, not at all. I was there about 2 years. I covered Jackson State for the Clarion Ledger, and traveled pretty much everywhere with the football team, and it was quite an experience. You see things, cover things, report on stuff in the SWAC that you'll never report on again anywhere else. It was interesting, and always something was always going on, and it was crazy. And I have endless stories of just being two. That was just 2 years, covering 2 seasons in the SWAC. But I never regret it. And I learned a lot as a young reporter, about 25, and I learned an incredible amount just from that time. Covering the SWAC. It was really a time for me to kind of understand how things work outside of like the SEC.
You mentioned the emphasis for the Pac-12 on Saturday night in that game for Oregon versus Auburn. Auburn rallied to win at the end. What did that do for the conference, and what was the mood like for the Oregon faithful after that one?
Well, the Pac-12 they need some stuff to go right, and it starts with winning those big games on the field, especially against a league like the SEC. And for Oregon to kind of have it in the bag, it felt like they were kind of controlling that game for the better part of 3 quarters, and to lose it to a true freshman quarterback was just kind of stunning. And there are obviously some mistakes on the other sideline with on Oregon sideline with timeouts and some play calls and things like that. But credit Auburn. After the game, we talked to Gus Malzahn and some players, and it was very clearly they came in at halftime, but they were getting gashed by Oregon basically on the ground, and they made some adjustments inside the box, and then offensively they started running the football.
Talking to Ross Dellenger, lead college football writer for Sports Illustrated, also one of the lead Les Miles experts in the entire country. Ross, what did you think about the Coach Miles debut in Kansas?
You probably saw more than I did. I was in the middle of some other, watching some other things, and didn't really watch much. I know I saw
it looked exactly the same, Ross. I know that doesn't surprise you, but he has not evolved.
Should we be surprised, though? I thought for sure you'd maybe see him get back to his true roots a little bit and sling it around more, but it looks like the same system that he ran at LSU.
Yeah, I guess in a way I am a little surprised, just because spending some time with him in February, I did think that they were going to, open it up more a little bit and kind of, they're in the Big 12, so I thought they were going to do more Big 12 stuff, and to know that they're not is a little surprising. All I really saw is the game-winning touchdown and then the 2-point conversion, the trick play or whatever. But it's kind of disappointing that they haven't, changed a little bit. But at the same time, when I start thinking about it, I do know Les really well, and he's a stubborn guy, and he's going to do what he's done all of his career.
Should Les Miles make more money than Ed Ogeron? Because he does right now, right? He's being coached more at Kansas than O's getting at LSU.
I don't think he does anymore. Ed got that bump, that contract extension. I don't think Les does make more. I'm trying to think of what Les made. I will tell you, I remember this. When Les's buyout with LSU, he was getting paid $1.5 million a year with LSU for 6 years. And I remember Kansas was going to be $1 million raise. So he makes somewhere around 2.5 to 3. And of course, Ed now makes, I think, 4. So, but for
I thought Les made 4.
I see where you're coming from, though. But it's it's interesting. I thought too that they would, it's Indiana State, and I know they got problems talent-wise up there at Kansas and depth-wise, but I just thought, they would look a little crisper against a team like Indiana State. So it might be a long season for Les.
Okay, yeah, he makes 2.7 per. So I thought it was 4.
Most famous Indiana State alum.
Larry Bird.
Yeah.
I'm a big sports guy, in case you don't know. Ross, should Tennessee fire Jeremy Pruitt? Let's start it up. I mean, come on, get with the conversation. Let's start it up.
Yeah, I don't think so. But, man, you got to have some real concerns, right? Because, I was reading some of the stuff those beat writers in Tennessee have put out, and it's not just, talent and skill or whatever and, players messing up. There was some coaching gaffes there. There were some real serious kind of coaching issues, you could tell. So there are some concerns, no doubt. Obviously, he's 13 games in to his tenure, so I'm sure they're going to give him a little more time. But you got to see progress. That's the thing. From year 1 to year 2, ADs will tell you, you got to see a coach start to, our team start to make progress and make steps toward, contending for a championship, or at least contending in Jeremy Pruitt's case for a bowl game. And it felt like this is going to be the year that Tennessee was going to progress. I felt like that all off season, reading stuff and everything, and to see what happened to lose to a not just a group of 5 teams, but one that was really bad last year was really stunning. And I know Sean Elliott, the coach at Georgia State, who I believe was at South Carolina, he was the interim coach maybe for Spurrier. He's almost got that job at South Carolina. Remember, he almost got that job. He interviewed for. They were seriously considering him. So maybe he's the one that we need to be talking about, right? Maybe he's going to land a head coaching job next.
I mean, thank God they gave it to Will Muschamp, right? That's worked out great for South Carolina.
Yeah, that was another highlight or low light, I should say, of the SEC of the weekend.
So what real quick, what's your opinion on the SEC weekend overall? Because I see some spin zone talking about how the top 6 did really good, but really it looked like a conference who took a blow on Saturday to me.
I don't know how you could spin it good. I guess I've seen some people do it. I mean, the SEC is supposed to win games. I mean, you expect the SEC to win football games, and when they don't, I don't care who it is, it's concerning when it's Georgia State, Memphis, Wyoming, and a North Carolina team coached by a 68-year-old who's rebuilding. It's concerning. So I don't see any way of spinning it. I know that Alabama beat Duke, like we all didn't expect that. I mean, Auburn was favored. Now how they won was pretty incredible. Auburn was favored. I mean, LSU won at home against Georgia Southern, and I know Georgia Southern's been decent in the past, and LSU did look good doing it. But, I mean, all these teams are supposed to win. You're not supposed to lose to Georgia State, and you're not supposed to lose to North Carolina rebuilding, and Muschamp's in his 3rd year, or 4th year, I believe. You're not supposed to do that in Missouri at Wyoming. I mean, come on. I don't know how you could spin all that.
Give me a quick preview to Saturday with LSU in Texas.
Yeah, I'm in downtown Austin right now.
So it's already posted up.
They're gonna have a good time here. All right, they're gonna have a dang good time here. You find it hard to not have a good time in this place.
Yeah, seriously.
I've been here for a little over a day, and it's a fun place today. So all the eyes are going to be on that game, and then some of the eyes will be on A&M Clemson, I'm sure. But I'll be back down here. I'm going to go home for a couple of days, and I'll fly back down here for LSU Texas. That's the game that I think we've had circled for a long, long time, and it's building toward being a pretty incredible matchup.
Ross, last one. You had a great piece on Matt Canada. Caught up with the former LSU offensive coordinator and interim coach for Maryland last season. He's out of ball this year. That surprised you first, and what'd you learn about him?
Yeah, it intrigued me, man. I mean, Matt Canada 3 years ago was running a top 10 offense at Pitt. He was like the big hot name. LSU won a bidding war for him, basically. and paid him the most money that any offensive coordinator was making at the time. And then, of course, last year he was interim head coach at Maryland, and during all the McNair stuff and everything. And so this guy was like at the top, it seemed like, of the college football world, in the news all the time, and then he just dropped off the face of the earth. So I went and found him on the near Wilmington on an island in North Carolina, and he's not working, but he's studying film and things like that. He's doing some consulting work. I would not be surprised at all if he landed somehow with an NFL team in some role this season, and obviously after the season, he's going to be a pretty hot name, I think, in OC circles.
Ross, where's your Heisman vote after week 1?
Oh, man. Obviously we saw Jalen Hurts on Sunday night. He's the latest in the Heisman making machine there.
He has a great narrative too, right? Like, how much does that play in?
Yeah, it is. We got to take that into consideration. But it was incredible to watch him. And I saw some breakdowns this morning, X's and O's on the RPO and things that he did. Man, Lincoln's offense, it's just so fun. It's just so cool and so many options. And he's running the triple option. It's just through the air, It's really fun to watch.
Ross Dellenger from Sports Illustrated, college football writer over there every Monday here on OTB. Thank you, man.